Okay, going live right now. It's setting it up, directing to the page. Okay, going live right now. It's setting. Okay, everybody. I am Kevin. I'm here with Adrian as well. We're from Bitcoin for Beginners. This is our second ever time hosting our cryptocurrency event. So we're really excited. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin Cash drama and all the infighting going on, who's involved, what are they fighting for, and what everyone else thinks. So if you like this video, then just please subscribe to this channel, give us a like, and also check us out on our own YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bitcoin for Beginners. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, share screen. Keynote. Share screen. All right, can you see this, Adrian?
Yeah. Yes, I see your screen.
Now it's full screen.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. And feel free to interrupt me at any time if there's anyone in the live chat. But Bitcoin Cash has a lot of drama going on when other projects are kind of quiet these days. So I wanted to take a look, and it's really fascinating. I hope you learn a lot. So what's all the drama about, really? Just a little bit of background. Well, Bitcoin Cash is BCH, hard fork from BTC on August 1st, 2017. They had different ideas for priorities in terms of scaling solutions. And so BCH community kind of decided to do a hard fork every 6 months as scheduled to kind of keep the protocol moving along, keep it updated with constant upgrades. And that's totally fine if there's consensus. But this time there's not. So who started this whole argument? Well, Bitcoin ABC, a very notable dev team in Bitcoin Cash space, and the lead developer, Amaury Sachet, released a new kind of full node implementation recently, but not everybody liked it though. Specifically, N-Chain and the infamous Craig Wright didn't like it and thus put out a counterproposal. That's how this whole drama got started, how this whole thing got to its current feverish pitch per se. And so the changes ABC wanted were a few main ones. A new opcode mainly that could help with the use of oracles in like smart contracts, cross-chain atomic contracts per se. Another one's called canonical transaction ordering. This change kind of helps sets the stage for massive scaling improvements in the future. So I'm not going to dive too deep into the technical aspects of each, but that is the main ones being debated. So if you're curious, you should definitely go Google it and learn more. But these weren't some random changes, though. Bitcoin ABC put out their roadmap on their blog and has had several things kind of planned for the roadmap for a long time now. And so those changes I mentioned earlier are part of this roadmap. And so eventually they want to have just massive scalability, really a lot of security and easy for people to use, like low fees and easy for merchants to accept, and also have it extensible so people can build on top of the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. However, Craig Wright didn't really like this, along with other people as well, because he sees Bitcoin Cash as primarily used for cash. So he doesn't want it to litter with non-cash transactions. Also doesn't think that canonical transaction ordering is particularly needed right now, and that they want to take a further look. They also want to raise, or Craig Wright and his group also want to raise the block size to be 128 megabytes, while right now ABC and some other groups think that 32 is more reasonable. So what is the counterproposal though? CoinGeek and Ayer, their CEO and founder, is a very popular mining pool and entity in the Bitcoin Cash space, and they want some different vision for Bitcoin Cash. They want to restore the original Bitcoin protocol that Satoshi wrote by doing some things for November. That is re-enabling some parts of the original set of opcodes and removing the current limit of 21 opcodes per script, and also raising the block size. They also said they will not support anything that adds these new opcodes and canonical transaction ordering, which they say requires more detailed explanation. And so nChain came out, and that's Jimmy Nguyen and Craig Wright, and said that they will help support CoinGeek's miner's choice by releasing Bitcoin SV, a new full node implementation kind of competing with Bitcoin ABC and other full node implementations that restores the original Bitcoin protocol. And he says, and I quote, that nChain is happy to provide the technical capabilities needed to support Bitcoin SV. And so they are going to be working with CoinGeek to make this happen. One sec, let me move this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so what do the miners want though? Because we all know the miners are pretty important in the ecosystem. Bitcoin Cash governance is via hash rate, right? Miners vote on which fork they want to support, and the minority fork dies. That's how it works. It's called Nakamoto consensus if you want to take a closer look at it later. But that's how you can support different changes via miners' hash power. So just taking a look at the current hash power, and this was taken from a few days ago, CoinGeek is at roughly 1/4 of the whole hash power at 25.9%. And on the left-hand side, you have 3 pools circled in red. These are all related to Bitmain. They also have a significant amount collectively. Bitcoin.com is with Roger Ver. He has 5%. And miscellaneous mining pools at 17.1%, and also some of the other ones listed in the pie. So Bitmain and Jihan Wu said that Craig Wright is fake Toshi, and kind of said that his reasoning for Bitcoin SV is flawed. And so this was the start of another beef. Seems like a lot of crypto beef going on lately, but this is one of them. And he kind of does not support Bitcoin SV's new proposed changes either. Haipo Yang, the CEO of Via BTC, also funded by Bitmain. He says Bitcoin is stable right now. 28 megabyte blocks, not stable. No cap with minor hard limit, not stable. And introducing opcodes is stable. So that's where he stands on it. Kind of a different view from it. This is from Cointelegraph.com. Once again, CoinGeek has roughly 29.5, but I think the numbers are a little bit different week to week. And Bitmain has roughly 19%. And they support ABC right now and opposing nChain's SV implementation. And possible motive for Jihan Wu and Bitmain, well, Craig Wright states that it's because of their wormhole protocol, and with the Bitcoin SV changes, you can do all of that natively within BCH and no control anymore by Bitmain. And he claims that Jihan Wu wants proof of stake and he wants to control the whole network. For those of you who don't know, Wormhole is a protocol that allows for tokenization of assets and smart contracts for Bitcoin Cash. And so you can kind of get a feel for why Craig Wright's implementation can prevent that from happening, and prevent that proof of burn or POS or different kind of POS processes. But what about the other major Bitcoin Cash ecosystem players, right? You got Bitcoin Unlimited, Bitcoin Classic, Bitcoin.com, and Cobra, to name just a few. Because Bitcoin ABC does have a majority of nodes, full nodes, but Bitcoin Unlimited does have a big slice of the pie as well, at roughly 33% of the whole full node implementations out there. They don't like all of this that's going on. They say that, quote, these change sets are mutually compatible, but yet both groups reject the other side's changes. And so he's saying that given the, quote, no changes no matter how reasonable except mine strategy, it seems like this whole thing is about power and ego instead of technical merit and end user adoption, which definitely is possibly true. And from a third-party spectator, definitely seems likely as well. So they are proposing a strategy for Bitcoin Unlimited to run Bitcoin Unlimited node implementation to vote for compromise. They're going to incorporate features from both sides and will allow it to be activated via kind of a minor voting BIP or through emergent consensus process. So definitely a way to kind of prevent this contentious fork if people do support Bitcoin Unlimited's solution. Cobra, who's the co-founder, it's a pseudonym. He's the co-founder of Bitcoin.org and Bitcoin Talk forums. He's also pissed at this whole thing. He says you have rogue developers like Deadalnix, which is Amari Sachet from Bitcoin ABC, pushing an agenda instead of compromising, upgrade with consensus or don't upgrade at all. And so their solution is to create another full node implementation called the Cobra client, which adopts none of the above. So you got one side, the other, Bitcoin Unlimited that kind of gives you both per se, and this one that does none of the above. However, it does include replay protection so that if these chains do split, people and you send your Bitcoin Cash, you won't fall to replay attacks and you can keep your coins safe. And he also thinks that this chain split is an inevitability. Okay, so according to Cobra, he says that a Bitcoin Cash blockchain split would be a disaster. Even a temporary fork would have lasting damage because it would be a ridicule from the rest of the crypto world, widespread loss of trust and faith. By the way, I think this is all definitely true. Like a fork of a fork with like multiple Bitcoin Cashes is just not worth it for that community. I just think it looks bad from the outside. I mean, feel free to disagree with me, but that's my personal opinion. And also, he says that his client, the Cobra client, he's working behind the scenes to secure a coalition of supporters from the Bitcoin Cash stakeholders. That includes a quarter of the Bitcoin Cash hash rate. So then you got in-chain with CoinGeeks, roughly 25, 30%. You got Bitmain with ABC, roughly 20-ish%. And then supposedly this mysterious quarter of the hash rate seems pretty split up right now. And as well as a major cryptocurrency exchange, which says that they will list Cobra's fork coins under BCH. Like, this is just a mess. I mean, definitely, I hope they don't fork because this would be a disaster for Bitcoin Cash and look bad for crypto as a whole. What about Roger Ver? Because as you know, he's a big Bitcoin Cash participant, and we haven't mentioned him as well at all so far. But no discussion about Bitcoin Cash can be complete without him. Someone asked him a few days ago on Reddit, what's your stance on this whole thing? He says, still evaluating. So I dug deeper and watched his own YouTube channel, and he released a video talking about this recently. And in this video, you can watch it yourself. But he says he doesn't really care about any of those. He says that like 128 megabyte blocks seems good. The other stuff is possibly okay. But he's more focused about adoption and partnerships right now, merchants accepting Bitcoin Cash, because he says none of that is necessary right now. Like he doesn't think those technical changes are necessary. So he's still waiting and seeing. But some people say that he's a really influential person in this space, so that once Roger throws his weight on one of the different groups, it's going to be like a tidal wave of support for that group. I guess we'll have to wait and see. What about some other community opinions? Because outside of the Bitcoin Cash stakeholders. So from a group that doesn't support Craig Wright, that includes Vitalik Buterin, our very own founder of Ethereum, he says that they should embrace it and ostracize him and reject him. Also, the Weiss ratings also thinks that they should fork off and let them go. And Emin Günsire also does not like Craig Wright and encourages them to fork off from the rest of the BCH. Some other guy from Twitter says that his thoughts is that 128 megabyte blocks are unnecessary right now because the median block size is just 37 kilobytes. I haven't double checked this, but it definitely seems like there's no need for these larger blocks right now because there's no blocks larger than 8 megabytes. I mean, during this bear market, there's not a lot of usage for Bitcoin Cash or any other crypto, not just Bitcoin Cash. So why really do they really want to continue to raise it higher and higher when it's not even close to being used to its current limits? Someone else wrote on Twitter, Aaron Van Weerdum, that turns out if you start a coin by hard fork without consensus, precedent is to hard fork without consensus. Mind blown. That is very true. I haven't thought about it this way, but turns out that Bitcoin Cash came to inception by hard fork. Now everyone just wants a hard fork every time there's disagreements. However, not everyone is against Craig Wright and this whole thing. Some people think that ABC is experimental, no immediate benefit, possibly breaks existing services, and whereas Craig Wright and nChain's vision is Satoshi's vision and his own scaling proposal. Some other person says that they prefer to have the protocol locked down for stability, and that Craig Wright and Calvin Ayers' approach does this. And finally, since this is a stream for Reddit's event, we have to definitely take a look at what Redditors think. Two people here, King of the Jaffa Cakes and Adam KX, says that they don't want any forks at the points. They don't see a point. They think it's just bubbling along. Just let it keep going. Go through November without a fork and just keep on using it as is right now. Keep on growing adoption. And I don't really have a horse in this race, but if I did, I would agree with these two Redditors. Like, it doesn't seem like any of these proposed changes are necessarily worth it, especially if there's so much infighting and no consensus. And so for our BTC, which is the subreddit for Bitcoin Cash, I have read multiple threads on that subreddit, like dozens. And there have been accusations of brigading, of trolls, and of censorship. And that is a big deal because our BTC is supposed to be the free subreddit, whereas our Bitcoin is supposed to have a lot of censorship. Every time someone mentions Bitcoin Cash and attacks the other Bitcoin, they get mad and ban people and don't engage with debate there. And so people are saying that they've seen censorship from mods in our BTC. Whether that's true or not may be debatable, but definitely something that's a sticking point right now. Okay, everybody, that was a really long one, but I hope you were fascinated by this whole overview of the Bitcoin Cash drama. And yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments below in the live chat, Adrian, if there's anything. And be sure to check us out on youtube.com/Bitcoin for beginners and like this video. Subscribe to this channel as well to catch us in the future.
Okay, we don't have any questions in the live chat currently.
Okay, awesome. Okay, do you have anything you want to add or any of your own thoughts, comments, questions?
No. I'm fine here. Your explanation was very, very clear.
All right, sounds good. See you guys later. Our next week is going to be Adrian because I'm going to be gone. But yeah, just catch us next time.
All right, see you next time.